Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tooways to Skin a Cat, a show where we talk career experiences, entrepreneurship, and investments. The main aim is to show that there's more than one way to be successful other than just climbing the corporate ladder. We are live on LinkedIn and YouTube, and a reminder that the show will be on podcast by tomorrow morning. If you are watching live, please drop a 1 in the comments so that we know we're not talking to ourselves, and drop a 2 in the comments if you're watching the recording. My guest for this week is Kovini Moodley, truth seeker, diversity advocate, CISA digital strategist, head of risk and audit at Discovery, and founder of Boss Babes of South Africa. That's a long list. Kovini, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm truly honored to be on the show.
To jump straight into questions, tell us your story. Where have you come from? And outside of work, who is Kovini Moodley? Give us that backstory.
Sure. So I grew up in a little town in Durban, and I moved up to Johannesburg 10 years ago. And I've pretty much been climbing the corporate ladder ever since. A few years ago, I underwent quite a painful experience. And as a result of that, I sort of did a bit of reflection. And that is how Boss Babes of South Africa was born. It is a woman empowerment and upliftment agency. We focus on celebrating multifaceted women of South Africa, and it's truly been an amazing journey in terms of the way it's grown. It really speaks to my values and my core in terms of wanting to impact something bigger than myself. So I think a lot of people are climbing the corporate ladder out there, and Boss Babes of South Africa is really about celebrating the fact that, like you said, you can be successful in more than one aspect in your life. You don't just have to sort of put yourself into a box, because I think sometimes society tends to put us into boxes. And, my strategy has really been to elevate myself and create a movement, a positive movement that impacts more than myself.
Okay. You said small town of Durban, so or is it outside of Durban? Because some Durbanites might not be happy with it.
It's called Shellcross. A lot of people have never heard of it.
That's
pretty much where I grew up. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. That's great. Talk to us a little bit about your title on LinkedIn. So when somebody goes to your profile, the first thing they see is truth seeker and diversity advocate. So that must be your most things that are most important to you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So I think we live in a world sometimes where integrity is not always respected the way it should be. And for me, I think that is really the very core of who I am as Kovini. I'm really big on, finding the truth, understanding the truth, and sometimes speaking the truth as well, because that's really, really important. Being able to speak the truth sometimes is really a very powerful, liberating experience. And that's something that I do. I try and leverage both from a work perspective and also outside of work. I've really been big on just, appreciating integrity for what it is, because I think sometimes the world that we live in tends to pull us in a direction that isn't very aligned with the truth.
Okay, well, that's great. A reminder to everyone in the audience that we'll be responding to questions towards the end. So please add your questions in the comment section now so that we don't miss them. I'm sure there's lots of questions for Kovini. You mentioned Boss Babes a little bit, but tell us a little bit, unpack it a little bit more for us, and talk about how do other ladies join.
Sure. So Boss Babes, like I mentioned, is a women empowerment platform, and we really celebrate professional women. We celebrate women that are entrepreneurs, really women across all types of industries in South Africa. And really focusing on, women that are trailblazers, change makers, multifaceted women. Because I think as well, being able to celebrate the fact that you're multifaceted is really where it all starts. I really don't believe that we were put on earth to do one thing and pretty much just focus on that. And Boss Babes of South Africa is really about celebrating the fact that, you're a woman, you're a mother, you're a career woman, you're climbing the corporate ladder, you're doing all these things. And the truth of the matter is sometimes you're just awesome at all of it. And that's something that needs to be celebrated. We use the platform where women are able to share their skills. We have live chats with really powerful, influential women of South Africa, where they're able to share their skill sets, really add value on the platform, because that's really what we're creating. We're creating this collaboration platform, and the message is quite straightforward. The message is really about collaborating over competition, because I think we also live in a world where women believe sometimes that there's, one space for someone at the top to be successful, and as a result, we get a whole lot of undesirable behaviors that stem from that notion. It's not necessarily true, but Boss Babes of South Africa is really being created to break those barriers, and let's rather uplift and empower each other as opposed to pulling and tearing each other down.
So it sounds like it's a networking opportunity for ladies specifically.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
anything else on top of that, or is that the main?
That is the main core of what we do. We also utilize the platform for newly qualified graduates, especially in the media industry, to be able to put themselves on the platform and thereby get work using the platform. So it's really to help them to drive income, because as there are tons of graduates that complete and sort of don't know what to do afterwards. So we also utilize the platform to be able to leverage those services in a great way.
Okay. And how does somebody join? Is there a website, Twitter, LinkedIn?
You've got to register on our website, or the best place to start is often on our Instagram page at Boss Babes of South Africa. There's a link in the bio that will help you to register and be a part of the community. And then it's about you reaching out. So it's really based on women being proactive as well, wanting to reach out, wanting to give us opportunities in which way you can collaborate with us, because there's so much of skills within the platform. And it's really about leveraging the right type of skills to add value to the community that we've created.
No, I understand. Taking a little bit of head of risk and audit seems very conservative, let's say. And while Boss Babes doesn't come across as conservative, how do you marry your role in Discovery with Boss Babes? Talk to us about that so that you can help someone.
It's a question I get asked all the time. So Boss Babes is really my brainchild, and I'm the founder of it. But during the day, I have a social media team as well as a PR team that really supports the channel and all the various social media platforms. So really the strategy is driven by myself, but I've got an amazing team of powerful women that support me on a day-to-day basis, running the page, thinking of great content ideas, brainstorming. My focus during the day is, of course, head of risk and audit, which is really exciting. No 2 days are the same. It's something I'm truly passionate about as a CA. It's something I get a great joy from as well. And it's been a really great experience, I think, working in the corporate world. And, I've worked for other corporates in Johannesburg before Discovery. So I've worked for Accenture as well before I came through to Discovery. And prior to that, I was at Deloitte, auditing firm. So really, I have been really honored and blessed to work for such amazing companies that are well known, and gain so much of experience. The experience is really something that I sometimes struggle to put down on paper, because it really is, each day is not the same, and really it's about being able to impact people in a greater way as well.
Okay. Reminder to add questions to the comment section. And this just follow-ups on your previous question. You mentioned that, so you worked at Deloitte, Accenture, and Discovery. Each
Correct.
of these companies have very different brands and what appears to be very different cultures. Talk to us a little bit about the similarities and the differences. My reason for my question is that there might be someone out there who's considering joining one of these organizations. So talk to us a little bit about the differences and the similarities.
Well, I think the similarity is definitely very high-paced environments, very high-paced, very outcome-driven from a similarity point of view. But I think each company definitely has its own type of culture, and that is something that you feel out when you actually enter a company. And I think for me, it's all about energy. For me, energy is my first language. So it's all about, I think, getting into a company and feeling the positivity that comes from the people that you work with on a day-to-day basis, and exceptional. That's been exceptional. I work with brilliant people on a day-to-day basis. So I think that's really the similarities. But in terms of differences, I think Deloitte is, of course, auditing, as you know. So that's a very purely auditing type of role. Accenture was management consulting, and I got to do a lot of overseas traveling as well, which was really brilliant. and getting to work with or visit many amazing international conglomerates in the United States, and being able to also impact through process improvement initiatives on a larger scale for many companies in Johannesburg. So I think each of the roles that I've had have sort of contributed to my growth and my experience. And yeah, I'm really grateful for it all. I'm really grateful for the point that I find myself in at this point in my life.
So did you say you got to travel on one of these roles? Or is it essentially that you get to see the world?
Yes, essentially you get to see the world. You get to go to amazing companies. You get to go overseas pretty much every year that you're with them. So that was quite an amazing experience to, just be in a global setting, learning from people with, different backgrounds to you, but all coming together for a common cause. That was truly a great experience in terms of learning, and we really focused on process improvement initiatives, centers of excellence, those sort of big thinking, strategic kind of elements.
Okay, understood. And in your current role with COVID, are you back in office or are you working from home remotely? How has it impacted on your side?
So we've pretty much been working from home since the announcement last year by the president to say we're pretty much in lockdown. I've been to the office once to get something from my drawer that had been locked up in there, but pretty much it's been totally a virtual experience. And yeah, I think it also goes to show that the world has changed, and the notion of needing to be in your desk in front of everyone from 8 to 5 has certainly been broken, because it hasn't impacted our productivity in any way. It's actually in some cases gotten better. So I think it's really testament to the fact that we as human beings are adaptable, and that is exactly what we've done.
Okay, I'm going to move over to questions from the audience to see if there's anything here. We've got one question from Tembisile, who says, considering your role or where you are now in the corporate world, what advice would you give to someone who's at their entry level, fresh from varsity?
Okay, so I'd assume fresh from varsity and looking to enter the corporate world. I would assume that's what you're asking, Tembisile.
Either they, or I suppose they just started their new job, one of the two, I guess.
Okay. So I think the one thing that's really important is to find a mentor. I think mentors have really been quite instrumental in my life through my corporate journey, which has now spanned over 10 years. I would definitely suggest getting a mentor. I'd also suggest, making sure that you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, people that are committed to seeing you and helping you to grow. I think that's really, really important. And the last piece of advice is really just to remain authentic to yourself. So irrespective of which company you work for, what role you hold, or how much you may grow in that role even, the most important thing is to never forget who you are, where you come from, your integrity, and always remain authentic to yourself.
Agree 100%. And if I can add to that, maybe just be willing to learn. You never stop learning, and you notice the people that are at the top are continuously learning. So never stop learning. And I think that advice is brilliant. I'm just scrolling. I don't see any new questions. Is there anything that I maybe haven't covered? Any last few words? Something that you want to discuss that you want the audience to know? Maybe something that you're passionate about.
I think I would just like if there are any, women that are listening to this call at this point who, want to be part of a sisterhood, want to be part of a movement, have a lot to contribute. And I use the word a lot, but, we are enough just as we are. So I believe that the skills that you've got, think about leveraging it on our platform. Think about how you can partner with us to make a difference. I think we've got, we have tons of CAs on the platform, a lot of doctors as well in the medical space. We've got, women from all walks of life. And if you're listening to this at this point, it'll be great if you would like to collaborate and be part of our sisterhood, just from a support point of view. I think especially in the time of COVID, we can all do with each other. We can all do with having a powerful woman network that we can leverage off each other, just to chat or just to, grab a virtual coffee or just to bounce things that may be on our mind, or a safe space to vent, which is something that some of our team members also just sort of focus on, talking about issues that are quite real and being candid about it. So I think if you're listening to this, I think it could be a very powerful platform if it's something that you're interested in, to drop us a direct message on Instagram, register and contribute. Tell us how you're able to contribute. I'm sure we've got, a lot of brilliant minds listening in at this point, and we're always looking for women who are authentic and unapologetic about themselves, and we're always looking to partner and align with you. And I think Boss Babes is really about finding women that are well aligned with our mission and our vision of wanting to uplift and empower. We're less about the numbers, we're less about titles. We're really looking for women that are authentic and looking to align with our brand in a positively powerful way.
100%. I mean, it's a no-lose situation. You're either going to benefit or not. And what I notice is generally people of color, they don't ask for things that they so you don't think that, okay, I need to ask for a mentor, because you're always one of the first to do it. So you don't know that there's somebody that you can ask. And here's a platform that you can use to help you grow.
Absolutely. So it's not just my skill. I think that's amazing. It's not just my skill. I have so many of my friends on the platform, all of us with the same type of experience, that are willing to share their experience, that are willing to mentor, that are willing to just share advice, in general, how to, conquer the corporate world, not even conquer, but how to manage, especially coming out of varsity, going into any corporate. It's not an easy experience. It's quite an adjustment period, as with anything. I think that's quite big in your life that you do. There's an element of adjustment. So that's kind of what we're there for as well, to be a sisterhood of powerful women that are not just about the numbers on social media, but really about making a powerful impact to the women of South Africa.
That's great. A reminder that we are live on YouTube, and the podcast will be available tomorrow. If you're watching on YouTube or the podcast and you feel that this video has added value, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you get automatically notified when the next episode comes out. We've also got our weekly discussion on Clubhouse about business and investing in South Africa. Join us on Mondays at 5 p.m. Central African time. And let me know if you want the Clubhouse invite for anybody out there. I'll be sending information about the next episode soon. Kovini, thanks so much for your time. I sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me on this platform. It's my first LinkedIn Live. So really excited. Thank you very much for considering me and for putting me on this platform. And it's been an honor to be here.
Definitely not the last one. Thank you very much to everyone else for joining us for another episode of Tooways to Skin a Cat. Goodbye.
Cheers, everyone.